The Grand Council of the Zelthari elite had never known defeat. For thousands of cycles, their species had dominated galaxies, conquering worlds, enslaving civilizations, and dismissing any opposition as trivial. The Zelthari considered themselves gods among species, beings whose intellect and power dwarfed the feeble creatures they encountered. So when a small blue planet called Earth began sending signals beyond its system, the council convened in their gleaming, crystal-studded palace on Zithra Prime. A delegation of the galaxy's most feared warriors, each one clad in armor that shimmered like liquid light, was dispatched to evaluate the so-called human race. Among them was Lord Crisson, a veteran of 1,000 conquests. He had crushed planets, broken alliances, and enslaved species whose technology rivaled that of the Zelthari themselves. Yet even Crisson smirked at the idea of humans. "They are nothing," he said to the council. "Primitive, fragile. Their planet barely escapes the pull of their star. Gravity itself is an insult to them. What can they possibly offer us?" The council laughed, and so Crisson, confident and arrogant, boarded his stud cruiser, expecting a victory that would be celebrated across the galaxy. When Crisson arrived in Earth's orbit, he looked down with disdain. Below him, the blue and green sphere teemed with life, a chaotic swirl of oceans, forests, and cities. The humans he had observed in orbital scans seemed small, fragile enough, he thought, to crush beneath a single boot. Descending through the atmosphere, Crisson felt the first discomfort of Earth's gravity. Though he was massive and strong by his species standards, the pull of this planet tugged at him more than he anticipated. He ignored it, haughtily stepping onto the surface. The humans around him fled, screaming, while their machines sputtered uselessly against his presence. And then she appeared. Her name was Captain Asher Rail. She was not the tallest human, nor the strongest, nor the most decorated soldier of Earth's forces. But she carried something far deadlier than all of those things combined: courage, ingenuity, and an unbreakable will. When Crisson stepped into the plaza of New Manhattan, his shadow stretching over the panicked humans, Asher did not run. She stood, hands on her hips, staring up at him. "You're not exactly what I expected," she said calmly, though her heart hammered. Crisson laughed, a deep, resonant sound that vibrated through the air. "You, alone, against me. I have crushed armies larger than your planet." Asher's eyes narrowed. She didn't flinch. "You may be stronger, but this," she said, gesturing to the planet itself, "is my home. And here, you're not the one in control." Crisson chuckled. "Control? I am the elite. Gravity is a trivial matter to one such as I." He flexed, demonstrating strength that had annihilated worlds. "Gravity, huh?" Asher murmured, almost to herself. Then, without warning, she sprinted toward him. Crisson raised an eyebrow at the speed of this human, barely noticing it, until she landed a blow to his armored chest with a force that staggered him. Astonishment flickered in Crisson's alien eyes. Humans were stronger than their size suggested. Asher wasn't just strong. She was smarter. She lured Crisson into the streets of New Manhattan, where the city itself became a weapon. Skyscrapers bent around his attacks, subways collapsed under his weight, and the gravitational quirks of Earth, the hills, the uneven surfaces, the dense atmosphere began to wear on him. Every step was a struggle. Every movement taxed his immense muscles. Crisson roared in fury. "You dare defy the elite? You are nothing. Asha smiled. Nothing. She kicked a rubble-strewn car toward him. It didn't matter that it dented or that it bounced harmlessly off his armor. She had learned something vital. Force alone didn't win battles. Strategy did. She drew him further, toward the edge of Manhattan's highest point, the Sky Spire Tower. There, the final confrontation began. Crizin leapt at her, claws extended, intending to crush this tiny human beneath his grip. But gravity, Earth's constant companion, betrayed him. The pull of the planets slowed his movements, unbalancing him in a way no human could have. He stumbled, and that's when Asha struck. Using a grappling hook from her wrist, she swung herself around him, leveraging his own momentum. Crizin crashed into the steel and glass peak of the Sky Spire Tower, his massive body shuddering from the impact. He struggled to rise. Impossible, he growled. This, gravity, it is trivial for me. Asha stepped forward, unwavering. It's not trivial for you, she said. Not here. Not on my planet. You think the elites can bend the galaxy? Here, we bend you. With a swift maneuver, she pressed a device against his chest. It emitted a pulse, amplified by the tower's conductive steel, and Crizin's knees buckled. He fell to his hand's end then, almost instinctively. His face met the ground, for the first time in his life. Lord Crizin, the invincible, the terror of 1,000 civilizations, kissed the ground not in respect, but because he had no choice. The humans who had hidden in the streets peeked out, stunned. They had never seen one of their own confront an alien elite, let alone dominate one. Wordlessly, they approached, surrounding Crizin while keeping a cautious distance from Asha. You underestimated Earth, she said quietly, her voice carrying both triumph and warning. You underestimated humans. We may be small, but we are strong, clever, and relentless. Your arrogance brought you here on. It will teach you humility. Crizin struggled to rise again, but the planet itself seemed to push back. Gravity, atmosphere, terrain, everything worked in favor of the human. He realized something chilling. He had been defeated not because he lacked strength, but because he had underestimated a species he had never truly understood. And for the first time he felt fear not for his life, but for his pride. The Zelthari elite, observing through their interstellar link, could hardly believe it. How could a single human, standing alone on a fragile planet, bend one of the galaxy's most fearsome warriors to her will? Impossible, they muttered in unison. But Asharael, human of Earth, had made it very real. Crizin, finally rising to his knees, looked at her. His voice was low, strained with both pain and grudging respect. You are formidable. Human, perhaps. Not insignificant. Asha's eyes didn't waver. Remember this, she said, her tone firm and unwavering. No matter how elite, how powerful, or how arrogant, you will never be above the people who call a world home. On Earth, we are not weak, and we never will be. With that, Crizin, humbled and broken in spirit, though not entirely in body, retreated to his cruiser. He would carry the lesson with him, etched in the marrow of his bones. Humans are a species unlike any other in the galaxy and on Earth. The story of that day spread like wildfire. Not just the tale of victory, but of courage, ingenuity, and the unshakable truth that strength alone does not make a species superior. It was the human heart and human determination that had forced an alien elite to kneel, generations later. Children on Earth would play games reenacting the day Captain Asherael made the galaxy's most feared warrior kiss the ground. And every time they would whisper the unspoken truth: never underestimate a human.